Hey everyone, Bryce from Adventure Audit here. Today we're going to be reviewing the Renogy 200 watt folding solar panel. There are a few other units like this. They also have a briefcase version, which is comparable to this, but it's more meant for consistent use rather than this is more so meant for emergency use. As you can kind of see on the corners here, this is just fabric. Now, this is IP65 rated, so it can withstand a little bit of rain, but ultimately at the end of the day, like I said, with this being fabric, it's just not meant for it versus the more permanent panels that are out there. Now, another cool thing for using this thing in emergencies is, as you can see here, I have a power station plugged into it, but if you do not have that luxury, back here, there's actually 2 USB ports and a USB-C. So if you do not, once again, have a power station, you could plug in your power or your phone directly, or you could plug in a power block, like a portable charger essentially that you use to charge your cell phones and whatnot. So you could just leave that plugged in all day. Now, this is rated at 200 watts, like I mentioned. Another note is this is a monocrystalline panel, not a polycrystalline panel, and I highly recommend you look into that yourself when you are purchasing solar panels like this. And to give you guys an idea of the output right now, we're pulling 158 watts right now. And I've seen that go up and down a little bit. So ultimately, at the end of the day, for a 200 watt panel like this, it's about 23% efficiency, and that's going to change based on the weather and how optimized you have it for the direction of the sunlight. In a perfect world, you want this pointed directly at the same angle as the sun direction. And so in another shot here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually angle this down so you guys can see exactly how that affects the output. So once again, right now we're pulling about 158 watts consistently, and I've seen that go between about 150 to 160 as I've had it plugged in for a little bit now. And as you can see on the anchor, it's showing that about 0.2 hours until fully charged. And if you guys want to see more about this unit specifically of the Anchor F1200, I do have a review of this on my channel as well with some real world testing, so I recommend you guys check that out. But specifically going back to the solar of this, so like I mentioned, this is 200 watts, and on sunny days like this, it's about, I'd say 60 degrees as well right now, so it's a moderately cool day. And believe it or not, solar panels actually perform better in cool settings rather than hot settings. A lot of people think the opposite, but that is just how it is. So one more time as a final thing to show you, 158 watts, we're gonna lay this panel down now and show you how much it gets affected. Or actually, before I lay it down, another thing I want to show you is a partial shade test. So what I'm going to do is partially stand in front of it really quick and show you how that affects the wattage. Let's adjust it for you. Okay. So I'm pulling, it's going now between 76 watts. There we go. Sorry, the screen was dimming. And 82 watts. And that is with my partner shading it. So now what we're gonna do is go down to laying the panels down, and we'll show you how that looks. Alrighty, so as you can see now, we have the solar panel laid down completely flat, and the sun is definitely not overhead. As you can see, there's the sun right there. So for comparison, that is essentially straight up. So we are definitely not at the right sun angle, but sometimes it's gonna be like this. When you leave the campground and just leave this setup, it's not gonna always be at the perfect ideal positioning. So this is what you can expect. I'm sorry about all the glare, guys. It is a bright day. So we're pulling 82 watts right now versus we were pulling 150 watts just a second ago when it was optimized at the right angle of the sunlight. So overall, that's what you can expect with a 200 watt folding solar panel. This is great for camping. It fully folds up and it only takes up a little bit of space on the trunk. Another little pro tip is if you are going to use these, I recommend buying some extension cables. I will put a screenshot of this specific product that I purchased that works with the Renogy solar panel, and it plugs into my the back of my Anchor here. So this might not be the same for everybody, but ultimately, if you want to use these or run this inside hypothetically of like your tent or something like that, you're definitely going to want to buy some extension cables, just because the default length of that is only a few feet. So that's just another thing to keep in mind. But if you guys have any questions, drop them in the comments, and thank you for watching.